Nonverbal communication is defined as a process of sending and receiving wordless visual cues. The use of your voice, sense of touch, physical appearance, and the environment all affect the tone of a conversation. This is mistakenly referred to as body language due to the usage of body movement. Typically overlooked in nonverbal communication is the informal space around the body and the use of time. Looking while talking and listening is not only considered eye contact, but it includes the frequency of glances, patterns of fixation, and blink rate. Speech contains elements of nonverbal communication by using the volume and pitch of your voice and speaking style. This type of communication can be broken down into two sections, encoding and decoding, or generating information through facial expressions, gestures, and posture, and the interpretation of information received based on past experience.
Today we will be talking about the differences in nonverbal communication between genders, and addressing the use of body movement and the impression it leaves. Women tend to rely on visual cues to display how they feel, while men are less likely to wear their heart on their sleeve. Men generally communicate to transmit information and solve specific problems, while women use communication to express feelings and achieve emotional intimacy.
Men and women differ in their use of this type of communication because the reasons for communicating are often different. According to John Gray, the author of the bestseller, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Women are better at decoding nonverbal signals, making it easier to pick up on signs of deception.
Women use an abundance of visual cues, such as making eye contact, gesturing with their hands, and using animated facial expressions, according to psychotherapist Susan Sherwood, PhD, in the article 10 Ways Men and Women Communicate Differently. A woman might prefer sitting down while communicating or standing face-to-face in a group of people. Men tend to use a standing position when they're standing shoulder to shoulder, so they might view the environment while conversing.
I interviewed an equal amount of men and women and asked them a series of questions to determine if they shared similar views on nonverbal communication. How would you respond to some of the scenarios being suggested? Keep track of the questions to see if you match any of our subjects.
I would definitely be like, no, back off. My space, my bubble. This is my bubble.
I'll still smile at them, I'll still look at them or whatever, I'll talk with them. As for the hugs or whatever, to a minimum.
I would probably push them away and say, what are you doing? I would think that's a normal reaction.
Actually, I would tell them off but be nice about it. I would say, I don't know you, please don't touch me, you're in my personal space.
Not really.
No?
It really doesn't. Like otherwise, if you get too close, then I might say, hey, back off. But other than that, no, I have no problem with body position.
Like you does.
No. Yeah, I'm like this just about all the time. So I'm doing it right now.
If it's more of an aggressive position, obviously, I'm going to be more on the defensive.
Well, if you're like this, then I can either tell that you're annoyed or you're pissed off, which tells me that to back away from the conversation.
Depending on how a person's standing, especially with things I'm used to dealing with, kind of tells me or not whether or not they're like a threat sometimes. So, with their facial expression and, their look and their persona kind of tells me, what I think they might be up to or what I think they're going to do. You know what I mean? Because people don't always do or don't always act out how they actually talk.
I guess their smile. I would notice that first because if you can make someone smile, I think they would be a more open person.
Honestly, usually their facial expression. Because by looking at a female's facial expression, you can usually tell if they're going to be a snob. Working at Starbucks has taught me this.
Maybe their deep voice or their handsome face, it could be that. Or, I don't want to say inappropriate things, but I don't want to say it. But
some of them tend to be very obnoxious.
You can always tell by the way they walk. Because if you're slapping your feet, especially with the high heels, you know they're pissed off, they're in a rush, they want to go.
Yeah.
When they're, relaxed, you don't hear the tapping of the shoes that much, they're relaxed and they're easygoing and has the whole time in the world. So it's always the way they walk.
Personally, I notice, like, when I'm talking to someone, if their eyes are, like, moving around, to me, it looks like they're not interested. Like, they're like, I want this conversation to be over. Like, but if their eyes are more focused on me 100%, I know they are concentrated, they're hearing what I'm saying, and they are guaranteed to respond to me.
Eyes. See, I like eyes. I think eyes are very pretty. I love a person's eyes. You can tell just how you can look into their soul. The eyes are the windows to a person's soul. You can pretty much see everything that you can tell about a person just by looking at their eyes. You could, like, a person can lie to you with their mouth, but they can't lie to you with their eyes. That's what I believe.
Men, they will almost change their whole physical, like, form.
Okay.
Just depends, really. I can't really explain. Oh my god, I can't really explain it because I remember guys and girls just argue each other. They don't understand. It's like, I don't understand guys. I don't understand women. So there's a kind of difference,
With men, I guess we're physically, like, open with our, personal. Like, I get like, hey, give him like the big high five. Like you saw him like you haven't seen him in 10 years. You saw him like 2 minutes ago. And for females, it's kind of the same thing, but they're always like, it's hard to explain with that one.
I don't think so. I think everyone's different. There could be a stereotypical way that girls, expect things of men, so they would ask them certain things, or guys also would expect certain things from women, but I think all in all, everybody has their own personality and way of talking to another, so I don't think it's something obvious. I think it's something that would be just general, and anybody in general and their personality.
Women tend to want to solve the problem, go through the steps. Men just, this is how we solve the problem, which I'm kind of in the middle. I tend to go through all the steps to solve the problem, which I think is the best approach, but...
I think they both mean something. If someone says no, it means no. If someone pushing you off, it means back off. So both of them actually come into key with the whole issue. If they're, forgoing, they're saying yes, and that's fine. But if they're fighting you, you're telling you to back off, they're saying no, that means back off. That means don't go there. Walk away, leave her alone.
Well, pretty much, verbal is more important at that point, because no is no. Because if you're raped, you're raped.
When it comes to rape, I don't believe that at all. People could get mixed signals based on what they say to each other.
Honestly, no. If they say no, I was taught no means no. So if she told you no, saying she was asking for it, that irks me.
Yes and no. I'm in the middle, because if a person says no, then they obviously mean no. Like, you can sit there and give a person bedroom eyes, but that doesn't mean that you want them right then and there.
No means not, as far as I'm concerned.
Just be serious. If you joke around, then people will think like, oh, it's a joke. You gotta be serious about it so people understand what you mean.